Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ohio State Esports. Today is Monday, which means we're ready for some Overwatch today. I'm joined by Carter here.
Hello.
We were on the cast last week as well, so some familiar faces you'll see here this week. Ohio State's taking on University of Minnesota. Well, the Golden Gophers up there from the north area of the Big Ten. So, how are you feeling today, Carter?
Good. I'm feeling good. I'm very excited for these matches. Last Monday, we had quite the match going all the way through all 5 games. Ohio State with a really explosive start, really having great control of high ground, taking an early 2-game lead, and almost losing the entire series, but coming back in Game 5 to end up taking the win. So I am pumped and excited for another exciting series.
Yeah, and our Overwatch team has been playing really well, so far undefeated.
Definitely.
So let's hope to keep that streak alive today. We are waiting on getting into the match. Just a quick update for you all, so hang tight. We'll let you know when that's coming your way. But yeah, Ohio State Overwatch currently undefeated. They've subbed in a couple different players for their Scarlet team. So I'm curious to see who we'll see tonight, on the roster, who's playing what role and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe you think they have some kind of matchup or something against Minnesota here that might be beneficial?
Definitely the Sigma seemed very comfortable for both, actually, tank players subbed in there. So I'm definitely excited to see the Sigma to be back at it again. And for me, the big thing was, and I stressed it a little bit earlier, you could really tell how Ohio State was playing with how they controlled that high ground and with where they were going. On those first 2 maps, they had complete control over the high ground, and you could really tell that they were kind of in the zone, and that's why they won those maps.
Yep, so we're loading into the game right now. Hang tight. I believe it will be Antarctica. So I'm pretty sure that's a control point map from the new Overwatch 2 pool of maps. So honestly, that name kind of escapes my head. I don't really remember it too well. I just remember it's a big frozen map, and I probably don't like it. So, yeah, just hang tight. We're going to get in the game shortly. So, other things going on this week with the program. Tuesday is Rocket League, and then Thursday is Valorant. Weekends usually have League of Legends, but we are here in game right now, and looks like our sides need to be flipped and things like that, but Ohio State is on the right, and Minnesota will be on the left, so we'll get that fixed for you shortly. But yeah, starting out here, looking at Hanzo, May, Sigma, Lucio, Baptiste, and on the other side for University of Minnesota, looking like another speedy comp, I will say. But
Yes.
the damage character is a little different. So.
Yes, definitely. Lava here for Ohio State, showcasing that Sigma I was talking about earlier. And Vantage here from Minnesota, starting off with that Junker Queen here, is going to find some decent bleed with the knife there as walks up here, as it looks like Emperor is on the flank with this Hanzo, getting a lot of good damage down, but it will be Minnesota that kind of claims this high ground. But Ohio State using that Sigma barrier to kind of rotate her onto the back and get some point control.
Yeah, and this is a pretty interesting control point here. There's 2 different kinds of high ground that the teams can play around. And looks like Ohio State's going to get initiated on here with the fight. They're going to find the kill on the Vantage. Luca does get traded out. And Ohio State currently up 1 body, but Minnesota kind of trading back. It's going to be a close one here, 2v2 fight. Still for the point, not capped yet. And Akua getting very low here. And Farthy just trying to clean him up. He's really weak, and Akua finds Farthy, and then looks like Lava's going to fall here as well. So big cap here for Minnesota. Even though Ohio State did get 8% total, it's a big first fight win for Minnesota.
Yeah, and huge props there to Salami Boy 200 for keeping Akua healed up there. Really good job on that Lucio, just being the support that you need and making sure that Akua could end up helping Minnesota there, as Ohio State did get a little bit on the clock here. As they're looking to come back in, there'll be huge bleed coming up here from Vantage, going to make it really tough for Ohio State to walk through. But you see that Sigma here making spaces. Farthy finds one, Emperor finds another. Vantage gets a return kill, as Ohio State is now up 3 players here is going to take a lot of space on this point. Looks like Minnesota is going to be forced to back off. And that right there is the power of the Sigma. Huge space maker there.
Yeah, and Lava just really cleaning up that fight. A lot of players weak for Minnesota. He was just able to use the explosive Sigma orbs to clean them up. And Ohio State looking pretty comfortable here. You know, they are down in percentage, but this team fight won't let Minnesota get too much of a lead here. So looks like they're going to look to engage fast. They do have a Dragon Blade online and a couple of support ultimates. They also do have the Overload on, and it looks like we're just going right into the fight here. Gravitational Flux and Lucio B come out. Emperor finds the pick on the Cupcake. The Railgun is activated. Big swings on the Blade, only able to find one. And Lava trying just to sustain here. His team is falling apart, and Minnesota looking really strong here in that team fight. They're able to clean up, but at the cost of all of their ultimates.
Yeah, Minnesota having no more ultimates left, using everything there. And Ohio State, and I love the swap to the Orisa here because in that situation there, Ohio State was really close quarters, which while Sigma is good at making space, he can't win close quarters against things like your Junker Queen, your Genji, even the Lucio with the beat there being really valuable here. As it looks like Emperor on a bit of a flank here, gonna look for the pick. Might step a little bit forward, but is gonna be able to kind of get out here as he finds the headshot on the Cold Beer. Absolutely amazing play there. Salami Boy is gonna find a return, but it looks like Minnesota is on the back end here, as is going to get the freeze off there. Farthy staying alive here, probably going to take down Salami Boy in a second, but it looks like, never mind, Akua is going to come up to save his friend, but while that's happening, Ohio State is going to get the cap off, as now it is an all-out brawl for the point, but it looks like Ohio State is coming out on top, but as I say that, Akua finds another, always able to keep these plays alive for Minnesota, and Ohio State actually giving the point back here, being forced back by that Genji.
Yeah, and Ohio State just can't seem to take care of Akua on the point. Like, he just is buddy-buddy with his Lucio, and they just never die. They always speed out, heal up, and then come back in for an initiation. But Lava is really trying to make some space here with the little HP he has, and overtime's going to start ticking away. So Ohio State kind of on the back foot here for point one. Looks like it's probably going to go towards Minnesota's way, except there's 2 players on point, and we're still fighting. So Farthy just trying to live, get some shots off, uses the ice block to survive a little bit longer. Looks like Lava's on its way back. That's a big tank for sustain. But yeah, big bleed out here from Vantage on the Junker Queen. You know, Farthy not going to be able to survive that. Cold Beer pops the overdrive, and that is .1 to Minnesota.
Very, very back and forth match, even though it was the 100 to 52%. I mean, Ohio State had some really, really clutch and really good plays there. But Minnesota had that one Genji Blade, and it seemed like after that, they always had control of the momentum there, and they were able to close out that map. But the map itself is a best 2 out of 3 here on Antarctica. So let's see if Ohio State can kind of bring it back. Definitely saw situations where they could, and let's see what they swap up here. It looks like they're back on the Sigma.
Yeah, and specifically this point has a good deal of high ground, which is going to be really important to control. You know, we know that is one of the strengths of Ohio State. So hopefully they can play to their strengths here and find ways to use the high ground to their advantage and just really pepper away at the University of Minnesota here. You know, they're going to early contest with a Sigma barrier. We're going to walk up here. And Cold Beer just pumping out damage with the Railgun. I mean, he's charging it off the Sigma shield while breaking it, and he's going to get some big shots down this corridor. There's so many bodies here.
Yeah, Akua kind of on the flank here. Kind of gets found out, though, but is actually now going back in there. Cold Beer is able to take down Luca's Immortality, as it looks like Vantage is pretty low. Farthy is going to be able to get the freeze off of time. Lava was able to take down Vantage here as Farthy throw pot shots, but Akua once again in the back line on this flank. Does get found out, though, and chased away. So it looks like Ohio State, they lost the initial capture, but it looks like they won this fight.
Yeah, you know, with Vantage falling, it's really hard for a team to really retake the space. And, you know, smart of Minnesota to kind of pull back, regroup, and then, you know, as soon as Vantage is back, it's time to go in. Just like that from Akua, finding Emperor with the dash. And, you know, Minnesota's going to engage here just really fast. Farthy trying to clean up some players, has to use his ice block. Cold Beer pops the overdrive with the kill onto Sockdolager. And, yeah, just cleaning up here is Minnesota. They're going to recap this point and start their percentage ticking.
Yeah, really good pick there from Akua to really kind of start this off. And Ohio State has to find a way to deal with this Genji. They have the Hanzo, which isn't necessarily built to deal with Genji, but it is doing some stuff. But that Mei is going to be your other option here. But Ohio State, it really just hasn't been working out for them. They have to find some way to shut down Akua here.
Oh, big shot.
As taking out Salami Boy, that is one way to do it. One less way to give support, though, as the blade comes out from Akua, but the beat is returned from Ohio State. It looks like Akua's going to struggle to find anything, as Emperor is going to take him down. Farthi found Vantage in the fray as well, as Ohio State is going to explode onto this objective, and it looks like they've won this fight for now.
Yeah, and really good stuff from Ohio State. They don't allow Minnesota to get too much percentage on the board before they recontest. And Emperor here just looking to maybe find a cheeky pick, on a player coming back from spawn, not expecting him there. But yeah, a point essentially even here. Ohio State and Minnesota also each have 3 ults apiece, so this will be an interesting team fight. 2 support ults from Minnesota, while Ohio State has 2 damage ults. So pretty important fight here. This should determine. Oh, big shot.
That was
onto Cold Beer. Emperor finding it. Getting dove by Akua here. He's going to die, but the Immortality Field comes in to save Luca. And we're popping the Blizzard here from Farthi. It's not really going to catch anyone, but Vantage using his own Rampage on the Junker Queen is going to really hurt this Ohio State team. Those anti-heal effects of the Rampage are just so strong.
Definitely. That was a huge Rampage there from Vantage. And props to Akua for finding a trade back after the pick from Emperor so fast, so that Minnesota can continue to fight on that point. But Ohio State still has 3 ultimates up. Minnesota kind of used everything there. So Ohio State really looking to come back now. And they do have that Baptiste ult up, so they can get some extra damage down these corridors here, as Emperor, looking for another angle, is going to go ahead and throw down the Dragon to make some space here. Right as the Flux comes up, it looks like Vantage is trapped inside, is going to be taken down here. Akua countered by the Immortality and taken out by Farthi. Ohio State finding 3, it's just the supports left, and it looks like they're going to win this fight, and that is the power of ultimate economy. Ohio State holding onto those ultimates, able to retake the point swiftly.
Yeah, and that's really great stuff from Ohio State again. They really didn't give Minnesota the time of day to get more percentage on the board, and now the time is against Minnesota for the second point. They're going to have to rush the touch here with really no ultimates on the board and no time to try to farm them up. They did just get the Dragon Blade onto Akua, which is a big ultimate, but Luca pops his amplification matrix over here towards the corner, and Ohio State's going to look to fall back towards the point. Vantage able to find Emperor here. Cold Beer taking out the Immortality Field. Nakua finding Lava. This team fight is getting stressful. It's only 2 players for Ohio State left alive. Will Minnesota be able to clean up? Stalling as long as he can is Farthi, but that will do a team kill for the side of Minnesota, and the point is going to be really hard to touch. Yeah, you see Doomfist swapping over to for Ohio State just to be able to touch the point here. We will have the Blizzard if Farthi's able to get active into this fight, but Lava probably not going to live for too long on point. Yeah, and while he dives onto the point, the rest of Minnesota is going to dive the back line of OSU, and that's going to be it for map 1, unless we get a miracle from Farthi here, but I doubt it. Yeah, Vantage.
Very, very close map 2, but Minnesota able to just close it out barely at the end there for game 1, going over to Minnesota here. But I mean, well played for both teams. I mean, 99% to 99%, and we had some really great fights on the point here. Play of the game, Cold Beer on the Sojourn here, probably one of the times with the Overdrive here, as you could just see right at the end here, even though Ohio State, kind of struggling to take point, you could see how oppressive the range on the Sojourn can be. Doing a really great job here.
Yeah, great stuff from University of Minnesota. Ohio State fought that second point really hard, but not able to pull that one out. We have enough games to mess around with here that it's not going to kill us to lose map 1. So I do believe it is a best of 5. So just like last week, we might be here for all 5. It could be a clean sweep. We never know. So stay tuned. We're going to wait for map 2, and we'll see you then. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ohio State Esports. We're playing some Overwatch today.
Yeah.
Ohio State fell map 1. They did lose on Antarctica. So Minnesota currently has a 1-0 lead, but we are headed to Blizzard World, which I do believe is Ohio State's pick. We will be able to get into game shortly, so we're just waiting on that. But let's talk more about game 1. You know, what did you think went well? What did you think didn't go so well?
I think they did a really good job, especially that second map, on playing off the high ground and playing off their character's strengths. And huge props to Emperor for finding really crucial picks with the Hanzo, what the Hanzo is supposed to do. But especially on that first map, they got caught in these brawl-type situations where their comp wasn't really meant to be doing that. And that really let Akua from Minnesota on this Genji kind of just take over. And Vantage also on the Junker Queen really kind of have a huge presence. And with the support lineup, Minnesota was running Lucio Kiriko, but even with the Lucio Baptiste, that AoE brawl healing, Minnesota really liking that brawl style here. And Ohio State kind of letting them get away with that. But as we hop on the Blizzard World here, a hybrid map that has a very long first walk to that control point here. Ohio State opting for a bit of a different strategy here as we see Lava on the Winston, Emperor going for the Ashe here, Farthy on that Genji, Hojin with the Ana here, and a break even as Lava almost getting the pick off here with that Winston.
Yeah, Ohio State starting out here a little bit of a different composition. They're going to play to the strengths of the Winston and Genji. They're going to look to dive high ground, take space, hold it together, and then, you know, dive again, find the back line. But these Shurikens doing a ton of damage to this Ohio State back line. But they're able to sustain, and Emperor finds the dynamite kill onto Akua. He got caught out, ate the whole explosion, and Ohio State probably just going to look to jump this high ground. And another kill from Emperor. Luca cleaning up Cupcake. And, you know, Vantage, even though still alive and fighting on point, he's not going to be there for much longer as Farthy finds the kill into him. And big headshots there from Farthy. Ohio State cleaning up this point 1 really easily, thanks to the help of Emperor finding some crucial picks.
Yeah, I mean, Farthy thinking if you can't beat him, join him, swapping to this Genji here. And just absolutely rolling through University of Minnesota. And props to Lava and Emperor there with the combo with this Winston and the Ashe. As you can see, Lava jumped right on top of them, the second Ashe through the satchel charge. As it looks like Minnesota here kind of jumping on top of Vantage is going to be taken down. Cupcake got to get the return kill, but is it enough here? As Emperor finds another head, takes down Akua, as Lava is going to jump on over here onto the supports, as it looks like Ohio State is just cleaning this one up here. Farthy finding Cold Beer in the back line. And what was an engage from Minnesota turned against them there as Ohio State able to quickly take out Vantage and get a lot of distance on this cart.
Yeah, the cart keeps rolling here for Ohio State. Not all players cleaned up for Minnesota, so they're able to re-engage here pretty early. But Ohio State taking the fight to them. Lava jumps in, uses his bubble, and takes a bit of damage, but he's really close to that Primal Rage, which will be able to make a ton of space. Vantage here getting a bit low. Ohio State trying to call and solo him out to find a kill, but the Immortality Field is used, and Emperor sends out Bob to do some work. He is in the back line, but Minnesota is in Ohio State's backline, so not really super effective. Popping the Primal Rage here, finds the kill on the Cupcake. He's going to try to cancel out this beat, not quite, and Lava just jumping around full HP. Akua, a Cold Beer, quick snapback, and Vantage also onto Hojin. It's really looking good for them here. And Farthy with the Genji Blade, not really able to get much. He's taking a lot of damage. He's probably going to die or have to get out, so.
But the cart still moved during that whole mess there. Ohio State still able to get a little bit of distance in there. As the Nano Blade not quite finding what they like, but as Ohio State using all their ultimates, Minnesota able to hold on to a couple here. Lava is just going to jump away. But huge props there I have to give to Vantage, finding a massive ante onto most of the members of Ohio State there in the back line. Really kind of setting up, forcing that brawl that University of Minnesota's comp kind of prefers here. As Cold Beer getting in some chip damage here. As both DPS from Minnesota have their ultimates up, along with Cupcake having that Ant Matrix to really increase the damage coming out here from Minnesota.
Yeah, and looks like Akua is just going to engage solo with the Dragon Blade. He's going to find 3 here. Out of nowhere, seemingly, comes the Dragon Blade, and he's able to clean up 3. You know, as long as Ohio State's able to all die here, it shouldn't really be that. Oh, back cap! No one's paying attention. Farthy actually capped the cart. He's going to lose his life for it most likely, but the rest of Ohio State is going to be here ready to move the cart. That was crazy.
That's
big overextension from Minnesota.
huge overextension there. Ohio State just getting through that first point. Well done, the Farthy. I mean, sticking it out and being able to just get behind them there as lava goes down here. But Ohio State is really happy. I mean, they have 4 minutes to make this final push here, and getting that back cap, I could not state just how big of a play that was from Farthy there. Minnesota just not being able to get back to it in time here, as Ohio State is going to push through this first corridor here with plenty of time.
Yeah, that Dragon Blade really stalled out Ohio State. You know, it really got them off the point, had to reset as fast as possible with the time they had remaining. But, you know, the bag cap enables this whole second part of the card push. And, you know, Bob going to be invested here from Emperor. Big damage on Vantage. He will fall. And Bob's sitting in the corner still, but monitoring the area. Looks like Emperor's aware that there is Genji behind him, but he's not going to find him. Actually, Emperor does get the kill after Luca makes note of his position, and they're just going to keep moving the cart. You know, Lava making a ton of space here with Primal Rage, his bubble, and then, you know, just the Winston HP is a lot to handle, so.
Yeah, definitely here. As Vantage once again does have the crucial ultimate up, but as the beat is going to come down here for Minnesota, Emperor taking shots now. As it looks like Akua got slept by Hojin there, is going to be taken down, as Emperor with a brilliant vantage point is going to take a couple shots of Vantage there, but Vantage was able to take out Hojin, as it looks like the back line of OSU is gone. Emperor is going to try and get out here, but Cold Beer is going to clean that one up there. But Ohio State got a lot of distance. They got through that first choke on this last objective here as they're regrouping. Farthy almost has that Genji blade up. Minnesota only really kind of close to Cupcake's amplification matrix. This is going to be a fight without ultimates.
Yeah, you know, this big fight here is just going to be really an ultimate fight or farming fight for Minnesota and potentially OSU. You know, they're going to, you know, Vantage just finding Emperor early. He's going to try to walk in off of that. He will get antied, and that's a trade I think Ohio State will take. They're going to go into the back line here. Farthy pops the Dragon Blade, does fall. Luca cleans up Akua from the other back line, and Ohio State currently enjoying a 4-3 advantage in terms of players, and they're going to try to push this advantage while their ultimates come online. Lava close to Primal Rage, Emperor close to Bob, and then we're looking a little bit more distant out for a nano boost from Hojin here, but this third point is notoriously hard to capture. Like the spawn point for the defenders is so close that you almost have to team wipe them twice before you can even cap. So, I mean, a minute left may not be the easiest. Yeah, Cupcake finding two just in the back line through the amplification matrix is strong enough, but Ohio State just needs to get out and reset here.
Yeah, definitely. Talking about this point being hard to capture, the defenders literally spawn basically on top of the cart here. Super hard to get those last couple of meters there. But Ohio State has done all the work up to this point. And talking about farming ultimates here, Ohio State almost up to 3 ultimates here, where University of Minnesota is on their way to their 3rd and 4th here. But Ohio State really farming it up as Akua is in the back line. Is going to jump on Hojin, does pop the blade, does find Hojin. Going on the Luca now. Luca is going to go down, but Emperor did fight Cupcake. But is that enough here? Zakua jumps on the Farthy. Farthy trying to make it away. Lava is going to take out Cold Beer. Farthy does take out Vantage before going down to Akua here. But Ohio State doesn't really have anybody left here as Lava trying to get a couple picks here. But Emperor comes in with the satchel, is able to take down Akua. But Akua is going to respawn right on top of that objective here. But Ohio State, Emperor does have the Bob for the touch, is going to walk up here. So Ohio State making their last stand for those last couple of meters.
Yeah, 10 seconds left here on the clock. It's only 2 players here for Ohio State. Not really a ton of sustain. The damage is coming through, and Bob is invested. Big kills here from Emperor, finding 2, 1 with the Bob, and then Lava cleaning up 2 more. Really great stuff from Ohio State here, and they will cap in overtime with a team kill. Those kills came out of nowhere. Really impressive stuff from Ohio State. I thought that was over. They you know, weren't going to cap and really couldn't find much there, but I am proven wrong, which I am glad.
Yeah, thinking back on it, you know, we saw Bob there. I didn't really see where Bob went, and I think Minnesota didn't really see it either. Bob was able to pick up 2 kills there and a huge satchel charge plus Winston combo. That AoE damage is crazy, and Emperor and Lava able to get that on the squishies and just completely wipe them. I mean, in 1 second, they were full HP. The satchel charge, the Bob, the Winston, it was just too much to handle. And Ohio State, really good job playing that space, playing that backdoors area, and able to cap the point the entire way here. As now, it is on the University of Minnesota to do the exact same here as Ohio State on the defense this time. And it looks like Ohio State might be sticking to their same composition here for defense, as this Winston Ash, even this Ana and this Brig are new. Even the Genji is new here from Ohio State. A very new and different composition that they've been playing. But what I've seen so far, I've liked.
Yeah, and Ohio State, I guess this comp just feels better to them because they're playing like they're the better team right now. So, yeah, they're going to start their defense here soon. Minnesota on their attack. It is 1-0 in terms of maps right now. But hopefully Ohio State can turn that around, secure the victory on map 2 here. Really strong stuff from them to start. So, yeah, no symmetry.
I was hoping for some sim nonsense here, just using it to get out of point faster.
Yeah, the teleport usually used just to get out of spawn from the attackers. So, going to be fighting for this high ground here. Both teams kind of similar setup that what we took from the last time, except they're going to wrap all the way around. This is not something Ohio State did. And Ohio State looking to flip the map here, sort of. They're going to find ways to play around this other high ground. And, you know, they're touching the point, but there's going to be 1 tick there for University of Minnesota. We're going to have to really see some large investment here from them. Maybe Lava jumping in. Yep, here he goes into the team fight and misses the axe swing from Vantage, but they're capping the point, and Ohio State needs to touch. Vantage down purple, will fall. Lava also finding cold beer, and he's going to jump onto the high ground here. Looking to pick up on Cupcake, he does, and they're going to look to clean up this team fight. Really strong stuff here from the Winston Lava. Capitalizing on the anti-nade and then really holding off Minnesota. They do get 2 ticks, however.
Yeah, I mean, unsung hero there is Hojin on the Ana with a huge anti hitting Vantage, and I believe one of the supports from Minnesota as well, allowing Lava to just burn them down here on the Winston. Is, you know, when you're hit with the anti-nade, you can't get heals. Vantage and missing the axe too, wasn't able to really heal back all that damage that they took there, as it looks like Minnesota is going to opt for this wraparound again, using that Lucio speed boost to run up to this high ground here. Ohio State, they're chill with that because they just won the last time this happened here. His Vantage is going to jump in there ahead of the team once again, forcing Salami Boy up to kind of give him some heals, as we're going to look again for that anti plus that Winston plus that satchel. Just big AoE damage here as there's the satchel. As Minnesota is going in here, Akua is taken down there by Hojin as Emperor holding on to that Bob. Finds a crucial angle, throws the Bob onto point to take point control. Lava once again finding the supports in the back line here. And it looks like another wipe there in favor of Ohio State. As time is ticking away from Minnesota, they do have 2 ticks. They don't need to stand at point as long. But that is 2 fights now in favor of Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State, you know, really good job cleaning up there from Lava. He will be able to pick up his Primal Rage here, and that's 4 ultimates on the board for Ohio State. Looks like Minnesota's going to try to take this fight fast. They do know that if they take it fast, they will have probably a second one. Yeah, here they go, engaging with Beat, Akua dashing on Hojin. At this point, Ohio State probably just best to save your ultimates, but Farthy's going to pop the blade regardless. Even though they're down 3 players, yeah, he's going to fall, and that's going to be the whole team for OSU gone, but they do preserve 3 of their 4 ultimates that they had at the start of that fight.
Yeah, Ohio State holding on to that positive ult economy there, and really, I mean, they held Minnesota for a very long time, buying themselves a lot of time here for this second point to try and burn more time away here, as Lava is going to step up here. Ohio State trying to retake this ground, get back to the groove there, as the satchel charge just barely misses there. But the anti is doing a lot as the Primal Rage comes out from Lava, looking to make some space here. Trying to stay alive, actually, is just going to sit and wait out for that jump here, as University of Minnesota rounds the corner here. Ohio State no longer has that Primal Rage, but still holding on to both support ultimates. Minnesota has Blade and a support ultimate. There's Hojin, finds Cold Beer in the 1v1. The Ana support taking out the DPS here. It's Lava sitting on Minnesota supports there, forcing Minnesota back here. And Hojin with a crucial pick.
Yeah, it forces Minnesota to kind of have to reset. You know, Ohio State did include the nano onto Lava just to really make some space on the back line and made that 1v1 possible for Hojin. You know, supports these days are so strong in their playmaking ability that it's almost impossible just to like solo them out and find ways to kill them. But Lava picking up vantage here to start the fight. Ohio State kind of in favor here. If Lava's gonna fall a little bit out of position, Emperor able to clean up Cupcake. It's Ohio State up. Not for long, though, and Akua finding the Dragon Blade. He's going to clean up really fast here. Farthy, and looks like only Luca is the only ones alive towards the cart, and he's just going to try to live. Yeah, finds his team here close to spawn, and Minnesota finally pushing the cart.
Yeah, Minnesota, they're really coming back from that. Vantage did get shut down mid-ultimate, but the huge blade there from Akua really setting them up for victory there, as they are going to get under this first bridge here, about a little over halfway towards the objective here, as Lava is going to jump in, gets knocked up around a little bit here. Ohio State really needs to touch this cart, needs to stop this push here as it nears the very end here. Bob does come out there from Emperor, making a bit of space here, trying to keep Akua down. There is Vantage dropping low. You can see Vantage is taken down by Farthy here. Hojin pumping out the heals for the team as Ohio State is going to have control of this card. So it looks like Lava's going in even further.
Yeah, Lava trying to find the supports that he know are playing towards the Mega here in the room. Little does he know, I think the whole team is here now, and this will probably be where they try to engage on Minnesota. You know, big dynamite coming in from Emperor. He will fall to Akua, though, but this Immortality Field will not last long, and it's just... Oh, big B also just out of Salami Boy, but Cupcake just getting tossed around. You know, really can't do much here. Hojin picking up Salami Boy. The card is contested. One player from Minnesota here. They will both fall. Farthy finding two with the dash. And, you know, really going to have to rush this touch here from Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota only having one ultimate. Ohio State having three ready to go. Has the Nano Blade combination with the Ana and the Genji here. And Luca, haven't really seen any big uses of the Brig ultimate, but it can be very influential here, especially in a final fight scenario like this. Farthy looking for that Nano Blade angle here. Standing up ahead, definitely looking for it. And there it is there. Instantly one-shots Cupcake. Looking for another here. Is going to take down Cold Beer. Looking for a third. Not quite going to find it, but it's done its job here. Ohio State is going to take this fight, and it looks like they are going to take this map, bringing us to 1-1.
Yeah, you know, the Genji Blade gets popped, and, you know, the kills don't come through immediately, but once they do, the damage was done. And Ohio State just able to clean up there towards the end. Really great stuff. They played the high ground to their advantage. Minnesota struggled to take it from them, and that's where they played really strong. You know, Lava also having a really great game. He had so many cleanup kills, able to just, like, find the weak target and solo them out, and then really capitalize and find the picks they need. So we're going to go to map 3 here pretty soon, so don't go anywhere. Keep in mind to follow Ohio State on X as well as Instagram. Ohio State Esports on both platforms. We're posting there about events in the arena, game days and matches, things like that. Also results. This past weekend, I do know that our Valorant Scarlet team placed second in the GA Val LAN that was held off campus. So keep that in mind, and we're going to throw to a quick break just here in a second. So map 3 coming your way very shortly. Oh, we're going straight into game.
We're going
They're
straight
ready.
into game.
No break. Back to game. So, do we know what map it is? Yes. It is the new map, the one we saw last week.
Yes.
That Ohio State got reverse swept on. I don't know the name of this map. It slips my mind.
Yeah, I don't either.
Saravasa, maybe? Yeah, Saravasa.
Okay, yep, okay. Saravasa, yep.
Our production confirming that is the name of this map. And Ohio State, a little bit of a different comp. Once again, we're seeing Kiriko, Lucio, Tracer, Genji, Junker Queen. So, fast team comp. They're going to get in there.
Yes, very fast. I mean, we saw this Emperor Tracer on Cervaso last week, and Emperor was an absolute beast on it. Ended up swapping off of it because Ohio State was kind of struggling to take some of the objectives here, but arguably the Tracer was not part of that problem here. Emperor, an absolute beast, finding very, very crucial picks throughout the entire time here. As Farthi on that Genji, as you were saying, very fast team comp, and with the support combo of Kiriko Lucio, lots of speed, lots of burst, lots of agility here, as Emperor is going to be on the side here and finds Cupcake a little bit, poking down some damage.
Oh, Akua on the Sojourn just deletes Emperor. You know, that big charged right click is just so strong, and there's really nothing he could do to live there. Tracer being only 150 HP does not help her case, and yeah, with one player falling, Minnesota's going to clean up this team fight and start their cap on the point. So Ohio State generally, I don't know how to feel about these maps for them, because they look strong on some points, and then other points they look like they have no idea what they're doing. Yeah, that's just. We'll see how it plays out this match, but not a fantastic start. The percentage is ticking away for Minnesota, and you know they're going to look to engage here on this main choke point. It's just all a matter of who will press the speed button first. Hojin still hovering around the top of the door, but either looking for a Junker Queen knife or a big swing of the axe to go in off of. Yep, here's the shout coming in from Lava. They're going to look to engage, and Vantage cleaning up. Akua getting two here. He's just so strong on the Sojourn, really the standout player from Minnesota here. And you know, Luka gonna TP away for as long as he can, but Akua just cleaning everyone up. I'm pretty sure he just killed all 5.
Yeah, Akua there with the team aces. The University of Minnesota did, it appears, swap out DPS here for Vikovs on the Genji here, kind of taking the Genji away from Akua, unlocking this devastating Sojourn there that, as you said, just completely aced Ohio State there. And yeah, Ohio State on this new game mode really has kind of struggled to close out matches. They did take 2 control points last week, but then lost a couple here. And it is rough with these kind of points. I mean, it's faster control point. You have less time to really test these individual points here.
No.
It's a huge ante from Vantage. It's probably going to mean the end of the fight there. As Akua and Salami Boy cleaning up in response here. Emperor not quite able to get that damage down, as Minnesota once again winning another fight right before the flashpoint unlocks here. And Ohio State going to be on the back foot once again, which is so hard on these flashpoint objectives.
Yeah, getting off to a rough start really means that you're probably going to get rolled in the ultimate economy, and that's what we're seeing right now. Minnesota has 4 ultimates available, while Ohio State just getting their 3rd one online. They haven't even really used any yet. It's just such a struggle for them to really try to close out these fights with being behind on the ultimate economy. And we're going to pop the Genji Blade on Farthi, but the sound barrier comes out for the side of Minnesota. He's going to pick up Biscoffs, but trying to live here is Cupcake. Lava also cleaning up 2 here, so he will find some frags in this fight. They did invest the Rampage, and Ohio State will cap this point just after Minnesota gets 63%.
Yeah, and really crucial from Ohio State, they ended up taking out Vikovs before the return blade could come out. So Salami Boy and Cupcake kind of wasting their support ultimates there, as Akua was also taken out before they could use the overdrive here. As Ohio State starting this fight again, as it appears a Kitsune is down from Luka for Ohio State, really using that to make space here, forcing back Minnesota. Akua did use that overdrive, but the Kitsune from Ohio State putting in lots of work here, as they're down to only 1 ultimate, but evening up this flashpoint percentage here, as Lava on the ground, looking for some pot shots here. Ohio State playing on the objective. They want to force a brawl on this objective, but it looks like Cupcake and Akua are fine with that. They both find picks here, as Ohio State is down. Emperor is going to find a return. I'll do Akua though, but is it enough here? As Emperor is going to go down here to Vikovs with the Genji Blade. Salami Boy picking off Luka in the backline. Vikovs grabbing 1 more there on Lava, as right at 86%, Minnesota going to swap. And the crazy thing with Flashpoint is, when you start at 60%, that means you only really have 1 more fight left here, as Ohio State is rushing to get back to this point for 1 final contest.
Yeah, the percentage ticks quite a bit faster than your normal control point map, just so that we can get through a grand total of 5 of these. So Ohio State really going to have to push the issue here to touch the point. And yeah, that's going to kind of give them some problems. Vantage finding Emperor, trying to get in there early, and Farthy getting low as well. Just this Akua Sojourn spraying down the OSU players, but they're going to find two to clap back. Vantage finding Hojin here, and it's going to be everyone weak. Vikhoff's finding Farthy, and Salami Boy cleaning it up. That is the flashpoint going to the side of Minnesota. So, are we going to see what happened last week? Will Ohio State be able to reverse sweep here? What do you think?
In my heart of hearts, I believe they can, but looking at it here, it is going to be a really, really tough battle to do so. Minnesota up in the ult economy consistently here, and really liking this more kind of brawl-style comp. Ohio State, while last map we did see them really succeed in the brawl, what was really shining was Emperor on the Ashe that they have now swapped to here, finding a lot of damage here. But in a close quarters kind of map like this, I wonder how much utility that Ashe can really offer you here, as the flashpoint unlock is going to initially go the way here of Minnesota, as Ohio State looking for a contest now, but is going to get forced off by that amplification matrix here. But Farthy was able to build up that ult there. Lava has one, but Hoja goes down the Vantage, but it sounds like a Genji Blade has come out here from Farthy, but not quite able to find much as Farthy quite low. Vikhoffs is going to find Emperor in the back line. Ohio State, once again on the back foot, is going to get wiped here, forced to do a reset there, as they used a couple crucial ultimates, but University of Minnesota does have both DPS ults coming up. Ohio State does have both support ults. It is a little bit equal, but Ohio State would have liked to get a lot more out of the Rampage and the Genji Blade.
Yeah, that last fight, Minnesota seemed to have the perfect answer to all of Ohio State's questions. So, you know, the Salami Boy sound barrier came out as soon as Farthy bopped his Dragon Blade and then got booped away. So he didn't even get a chance to get a second swing on him. But Ohio State engaging fast here with the Kitsune Rush. Here comes Vikhoff's Dragon Blade, but Akua and Vikhoff's just both shutting down, you know, saying you get nothing from this Kitsune Rush. It's just going to be Ohio State trying to survive here as the point ticks away. We have one player touching, but not for long. It will be Lava. He is low on the point, and Akua gets Hojin, and Vikhoff's gets Lava. So that will be map 3 going to the side of Minnesota.
Yes, and that is the kind of snowballing nature there of Flashpoint. Ohio State kind of losing that first foot and then struggling to really regain it there is going to drop this map, but it is a best of 5, as you said, so Ohio State has a chance to come back and win the next ones here. But unfortunately, they will be down 2-1 as we head into our 4th map.
Yep, Ohio State not looking the best on this map, but we did see some different compositions. They switched it around a couple times. Trying to find what works for them, you know, seemed to work pretty well in Blizzard World, but you can't run the same composition on every single map. So curious to know what map 4 is. We'll know in just a minute. We'll let you all know as soon as we know. And yeah, it's 2-1, Minnesota up. Looking pretty interesting here. So, you know, if Minnesota does win this map, it will mean the series is over, but Ohio State has the opportunity to stick around. Believe I didn't get the map, but we're waiting on that still. So, thoughts?
Well, Ohio State, the Winston composition was just incredible. I'm trying to process what really happened with that Winston game. I mean, you had Winston, Ana, and the Ashe. That was an incredible composition. That came out of nowhere for me from Ohio State, and they did a really great job playing with it and running it. And I want to see that kind of either that composition again or that kind of creativity, because they looked more comfortable in that scenario, strangely enough, with that kind of weird different composition they were running. And you know, they looked really tight. They looked really kind of uncoordinated and stressed on that last map with trying to run that mirror composition. So I really want to see them take something that they're more comfortable with and something that they can really be explosive with off that high ground.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on map 4. We will let you know as soon as we know, but in the meantime, we're going to go to a quick break here. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be hanging out on OSU Esports. Thanks. everyone. Welcome back to Ohio State Esports. Thanks for joining us here. It's 2-1 Minnesota right now. We're playing Overwatch 2. We're going to Coliseum. Push map. You know, Ohio State understanding push map is a new game mode to Overwatch 2. So the meta isn't as clearly defined, but we've played it for long enough to understand, all right, this is probably what's going to happen. You know, what are those things in a push map?
So for a push map, it's going to be a lot like your kind of escort style maps with your long open areas here, especially Coliseum. Coliseum kind of different in that it has the area through the Coliseum where it's kind of walled in, but that's still a very long distance here. High ground's really important. Coliseum, when you're taking that push to the two ends, it gets really interesting with the bridges over in the high ground position, really important here. And we had talked about the kind of Winston composition Ohio State was running. This would be the kind of angle you would take, but it looks like they're going to opt to have Sock the Lodger on the tank here, on that Sigma here, but seeing Emperor swap over the Bastion makes sense. Has a lot of potency at range. Both teams running the Lucio. That is a push map specialty here with those long distances. It's a great gap closer here. And once again, Minnesota having Akua now, Cold Beer back in on that Sojourn, and Akua on the Genji. Here is Emperor on the Bastion. We saw this last week. I'd love to see Bastion being played here. Really potent on these kind of push maps.
Yeah, and you know, keep in mind that push is all about this first team fight. Whoever wins this first team fight gets an immediate advantage. They get push time on the bot, they get ultimates, they get potentially a closer spawn point if they push it far enough. So this first fight is super important. That's that's why we see both teams really poking it out here. You know, no one really wanting to commit. We're all running around, kind of playing our different games. But the first pick will determine who wants to go in first. And Akua getting very low, dashes back into the immortality field. He will survive, but not for long. The rock comes through. Sock the Lodger finding that big rock, and he's gonna say, team, let's go. And Emperor turns into turret form, finds Vantage, also finds Salami Boy, and he's gonna fall, but I think the damage is done. Ohio State gonna start the push on this bot. Really beautiful stuff, you know, immediately going after Minnesota as soon as they get the opening pick.
Yeah, really good job there by Ohio State being explosive. And like you said, the importance of this first fight on push is just incredible here as Ohio State gaining an immediate discernible advantage there, though they are backing off here, not wanting to get wiped there, as a couple of their players are going to be walking back here as the bot kind of resets a little bit, but Ohio State with a little bit of range. Positive ult economy here on Minnesota as the amp matrixes are stacked on top of each other. Emperor trying to take full use of it here, pouring a lot of damage to that amplification matrix, though neither side's able to really find anything. So it looks like Vantage going in, gets stunned up here. Drops really low, but saved by the supports as the grab flux comes down. A beat in return. Emperor stacking ultimate on top of ultimate there, able to find one, but Akua finds a return there on the Farthi as it is an all-out brawl on the objective. Emperor going incredibly low, but barely being kept alive there. Amazing job by the Ohio State supports as Emperor drops low again, and this time is taken down.
Oh my gosh.
Massive rampage out from Vantage here as Minnesota is going to clean this one up. Huge turnaround from them there. I thought after the combo from Ohio State they were done, but a massive rampage at the end from Vantage seals the deal.
Yeah, Minnesota able to sustain long enough through the gravitational flux and Emperor's orbital strike. That I thought that looked really cool. The fact that the circles inside of the circles just blowing up and everyone crumbling is really cool. But Sock the Lodger onto Salami Boy. They're going to initiate this fight almost immediately. Vantage does pick up Ember, but Vantage getting low. Farthi and Akua trading out kills here. Farthi finding more than, Akua finding more than Farthi, and geez, he just cleaned that one up. Not much to be said other than Akua is a good player.
Yes, definitely there. Akua, really well done. Ohio State spent a lot of time just hitting Vantage, but Vantage able to be healed through it all there, giving Akua time to really terrorize the back line for a little bit there. Really, really well done there by Akua, taking advantage of that game state here. As Ohio State does have a couple ultimates to play with. His Cupcake does throw down the Ant Matrix. Not going to find much with it here. Cold Beer kind of caught up top. And this is that kind of weird high ground tense moments I was talking about earlier that comes with Coliseum, especially here. So Ohio State does have the high ground, but a huge flank there from Akua. Not really going to find anything, as Vantage is going to get frozen up and take it down. Akua does find the return on Hojin. Akua finds another on Emperor. Huge Genji Blade coming out here. Is it enough, though?
Oh
It
my
looks like
wow.
it will be. Akua finds a third. Cold Beer and Salami Boy picking up some more. And a ton of push distance here for the University of Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State looking really not great, to be honest, in that team fight. You know, they just really got cleaned up fast. Weren't really playing together as much as I'd like for them to be. You know, they were controlling the high ground, but they weren't doing it as a team, and I think that's where they kind of came to a fault. You know, like here, Emperor kind of alone, to be honest. Now his team's finally going to back him up. He knows that he has some support coming in, but does get extremely low. Minnesota's trying to capitalize on Emperor being low, but won't be able to find him. And they're going to play under the bridge here. The amplification matrix is popped, but Luca's beat comes through. So does Salami Boys. He will find the kill onto Luca. A lot of damage coming through here. Akua getting Hojin. And booped off the map is Emperor. I mean, quite unfortunate. Looking really rough here for Ohio State. Just all the cleanup necessary from Minnesota.
Yeah, Salami Boy finding 2 boops there. I believe Salami Boy actually booped Luca mid-animation for the beat there, canceling that, knocking Luca off the edge there. Salami Boy also did find the boop on the Emperor. Huge plays. Here's Emperor swapping off the Bastion, going towards the Genji for the mirror matchup into Akua there, though Farthy opting to stay on that May. As Ohio State kind of in a do-or-die situation right now. Has to force a place here as Emperor getting a little bit ahead of themselves here. Is going to be forced back. As Ohio State swapping to the Orisa along with Sockdolodger holding the area down. Sockdolodger doing a lot of the rampage. Well, didn't really find that much there from Vantage, but it doesn't matter because Akua again is in the back line, causing so much disarray and damage here, taking out multiple players from Ohio State. And like I said with map 1, Ohio State, if they want to bring this map back, they have to find a way to deal with Akua here. Absolute monster in the back line, taking out all of Ohio State supports, it looks like, at every second here. As 3 ultimates are up here for the University of Minnesota.
Yeah, and Ohio State's ult economy looking pretty weak here. The only thing they're close to is the Blizzard from Farthy. He might get that up this fight, but Minnesota investing the amplification matrix early. Ohio State's going to have to play around corners here just to not get immediately killed by the Sojourn behind the amplification matrix. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Akua. Beat gets, no beat followed up, and he's just going to get 2 dashing onto Luca, gets cleaned up by Cold Beer, and yeah, that's the point here. Ultimate economy not looking so strong for Ohio State, and these DPS from Minnesota just so strong, doing their job flawlessly, using their ultimates. You know, they don't have any, but they don't need them.
They really don't here, as Ohio State swapping the stall tactics now, trying to hold on to the series here in Game 4. As University of Minnesota nears the very end, Vantage is going to pick up 1. Cupcake takes down Farthy. As Ohio State struggling at the very end here, not going to be able to really retake this point here unless a miracle comes to save them. As University of Minnesota is going to win map 4 and is going to take this series 3-1. Congratulations to the University of Minnesota.
Yeah, and, you know, that'll do it. Ohio State not looking the strongest today. You know, we've seen them definitely look better, but they did show up to play on map 2. We'll give them that. You know, these could have gone either way. You know, just unlucky. They kind of got steamrolled. Or, sorry, not steamrolled. Snowballed on those last 2 maps. That's a better word for it. So, good stuff to University of Minnesota. Ohio State Overwatch will fall to 2-1. But not the worst, you know. We're not super concerned. There's plenty more to Overwatch to be played today. So, any final thoughts about our broadcast or the match we watched today?
I just want to say that for Ohio State, I want to see that map 2 Ohio State back. That was great. That was fun. That was wonderful. And they did do a good job on map 1 as well, but that map 2 Ohio State, that's the Ohio State we want to see. But once again, congratulations to the University of Minnesota. Did win today 3-1. Ohio State's record 2-1. Still a winning record. Still very good series today.
Yep, congratulations to Minnesota. On behalf of the Student Life Office and Rec Sports, we thank you for tuning in. We'll be back sometime this week or next week with some more Overwatch, and we'll see you then. Thanks.